Here's a life tip, not so much a nursing tip, but it is in regards to a nursing tip. The story behind it, I don't mind telling you guys the stories, again, HIPAA and all that. So, I was cleaning up a patient, and he was not with it. I mean, he was screaming, ranting. He had been screaming all night long, so there was nothing new. And I felt bad, but, we had to clean him. You have to clean him. His skin breakdown otherwise. But it's the day shift. He's getting into shift change. So the doctor is there, the hospitalist is there. He comes walking in. We're changing. He's screaming. He's like, "Oh, what's the matter, sir?" Blah 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 blah. He's standing over us. I'm like arms elbow deep into the guy trying to clean him. And it's like he's agitated. He's like, "Oh," he's like, "Oh, okay. What's the matter, sir?" Blah blah blah. And the guy's like, "Blah blah blah." And he just like 2 seconds of back and forth. The guy's like, "Get the hell out of my house!" And the doctor's, "Okay, he's not with it." Zyprex. He walks out and he's screaming some more. Two more seconds. The resident comes, not the resident, excuse me. The hospitalist comes back in. He's like, "Zyprexa, IM, no problem." I was like, huh? I didn't even ask for it. That's the difference between day shift and night shift. Night shift, I can beg for melatonin and not get it. Can I have an aspirin? Can I have a Tylenol? And I don't get shit. Freaking day shift, I didn't even ask for it. He gave me IM, It was funny in that sense. But I didn't ask for it. And actually, I didn't quite want it because I wanted to deal with the patient. Now I had to run over to the Omnicell, Pyxis, whatever you guys want to use. We use Omnicell. Draw it, mix it, waste half of it, and then deliver it into the Delt. Or I had done a video where my friend's dad is a psych MP or psych nurse, and always gets into the quad. He's like, "I've never given it anywhere else." So I used to give it to the Delt and pop it in. But honestly, that gave me an extra 10 minutes of work. Because I had to get it and had to override because he didn't put it in. And then, on the way there to administer it, if I'm mixing it over, whatever, scan him, whatever, all that, I said, can I have I got it. Can you put the order in? He's like, "Oh, I got to put an order in for that?" And I'm like, "Yes. If I could have done it, I would have done it. I would have done it a while ago, but no." But going back to the point of the video, it actually didn't even work. The Zyprex was ineffective for the guy. He didn't work. Anyway, going back to the point of the story is, I didn't even ask for it, but I took it. And that's the life tip that I'm telling you. If someone offers something, you take it. And I learned that kind of late in life, maybe like my late 30s. Yeah, late 30s or so. A consultant I had for the company, and we were getting a loan through a factor. We were factoring our receivables, and that's like, by the way, the last ditch effort for your company. When you're doing that, I didn't know at the time. I learned this all after the fact. Just like workout in a bank loan situation, you're parked there until death, basically. Normally, when I worked myself out, actually, of the loan, I found out from the loan officer, the bank officers, "Wow, you worked yourself out in 18 months. Not even. It wasn't even 18. It was like 16 months, maybe." He's like, "Oh, that doesn't normally happen." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "You're the workout group. Work themselves out." He's like, "To be honest, right? Most people don't work themselves out." I was like, "That's a freaking misnomer then. I mean, what the hell? What?" So he goes like, "No, most people go to chapter 11. I was like, if you guys worked yourselves out that quickly, why were you even here? And I didn't go, that's a long story in itself. It was more personality issues and whatever. The bank officer that inherited us was basically tasked, I believe, to just push everybody out. They didn't care. The bank in question, I'm not going to name them, but a bunch of a-holes. They're still in existence. They're doing not commercial banking anymore. They're in institutional banking, and they basically rid themselves of all the commercial accounts. I mean, my accountant had told me of another account that he had $30 million in sales, 7-figure profit net EBITDA every year, and they got worked out. They were like, what? They were like, what the? So at me, we were a touchy, a sketchy account. Definitely. I knew we had the potential. It's just I had to get rid of my father, the chief executive. He was our biggest liability. And that was the power struggle I said in another video. Once I pushed my father out, I was able to then have unfettered reign to fix everything, and I did, But that was the process for us, and we worked ourselves out, like I said, in 16 months. And once I pushed my father out, I was able to do that. But going back to this point of the story, we went to a factor. And we stayed with the factor through the financial crisis for about probably 3 years. And I was able to work myself out of the factor. Again, the guy said, wow. But by that time, I knew enough. I learned enough. And I said, yeah, no problem. No, I knew. He's like, yeah, it's good. Congratulations, Ray. Most people don't leave us. Sorry to lose you as a client. You guys were very good. I learned a lot during that time. I learned about honesty. I was reporting my receivables, and he's like, "You're always very diligent about that. And he's like, I never have to worry about you." And I was like, "Why?" So most people lie. A lot of people lie, and I was like, "Well, why?" They get more money that way. I was like, "Oh yeah, honesty." Financial honesty, fiscal honesty, corporate honesty. He wasn't used to it. And I was like, no. I forgot his name. I think it was Brian. I was like, no, Brian, I had to put my head down on my pillow every night and be able to sleep with myself first. He and I always laughed. He was a good guy, very good guy. He's actually worked his way up. His family's business, his grandfather, I think, was CEO, actually. But he worked his way. He's family-owned business. Big, a lot of money. Old-time money. And going back to the point of the story, is the consultant that introduced us to the factor. The first meeting, one of the first meetings, a signing meeting, they offered us an umbrella because we were soaked. It was raining in New York City. It was downpour. We didn't expect that. And they offered us their umbrellas, the company logo. And I was like, it's okay. It's all. And the consultant turns to me and says, Ray, someone offers you something free. Take it. You take it. Even if you don't need it, take it. and the loan officer, who's his old friend, that's why we got together. Listen to Neil. And of course I listened to him. I was paying Neil as a consultant. So for his valuable advice, even as inane as it was, as simple as it was, I was paying the guy $40,000 for about 2 or 3 months of advice service. Oh, I am so sorry. Again, the air conditioner was on. I hope that wasn't too bad. Maybe I'll reshoot it. But I took his advice, and I took the umbrella, and I took that life lesson to heart, always. When someone offers me something, even if I don't need it, I say, thank you very much, I'll take it. Either I give it to somebody else, or I use it, or I tuck it away, or what have you. Because if they're giving you a gift, you take it. One, part of that is the underlying theme is the exchange of pleasantries and of that, just being polite. I'd always been taught, no, don't take anything. Not that don't trust anybody, but just, that's impolite in my culture, in my parents' culture, and I actually didn't realize it was a Taiwanese culture. You refuse a couple times, and then you take it. I didn't find that out till much later in life, too. It's just whatever. But you take the gift. Whether, and going back to nursing, is the hospitalist offered me the Zyprexa. I didn't need it. I didn't even want it, to be honest. It was easier to do with the job without it. The guy goes through a little discomfort. We cleaned him up, done. Instead, he had to wait another 10 minutes sitting in his filth, whatever. I had to zap him in the arm. He's screaming more. Had to wait for it, come back to him, clean him, and it didn't even work on him. It wasn't effective, and I suspected that. You don't have any proof of that, but I suspected that based on the history. And, but the point is, you take what was offered. I took what was offered, unless it was something you knew he was allergic to it or something like that, or some bullshit like that. Don't get me wrong. If accepting the issue or accepting the gift or what have you is bad, then don't. Then you say, oh no, there's a reason why. I'm lactose intolerant. I can't take that. Sorry, thank you very much, but I appreciate the offer. So always accept something. I'm sorry, convoluted long video, but I've been telling stories to get you guys into it, to get you to understand my thinking of it, and also the process where I apply my life lessons to nursing. So it's not just, people are like, oh, nursing's so technical. And I learned this, again, very, very late in life. The only thing separating us with doctors and lawyers, nurses, whatever, is your training. Guess what? A brilliant doctor is the same as a brilliant electrician, a brilliant plumber, brilliant nurse. They're all trained. A brilliant farmer has skill sets. A brilliant parent has skill sets. You're all learning. You can apply it. There's, don't get me wrong. There's the upper echelon brain surgeons, rocket scientists that are like, wow, okay, they've got some kind of X-Men ability. There's some mutant ability where they can just, wow. Like those movies where all of a sudden the protagonist is like calculating in their head. That's something else. I'm talking about 90%, 95% of whoever's in as a physician, provider, nurse, technician, attorney, what have you. There is a 5% brilliance. Don't get me wrong. I do believe that. But 95% of it is just like you and me. It's just a matter of them being committed enough to do the training. They're committed enough to become a black license plumber. They're committed enough to become a great soldier. They're committed enough to become a great pilot, a great landscaper, a great farmer. These are all professions. There's nothing magical about that. That's one thing people think they're brilliant YouTubers, not me, but others, brilliant film directors, actors. There are the ones that are just naturally talented and skilled, the 5%, but a lot of them apply and learn their skills. When I went to school, all the Tisch students were learning their skills, applying their trade. I'm watching a fox walk across my lawn. Interesting. Oh no, it's a deer. We do have foxes here too. But my girlfriends at the time, a couple of them were actresses, and they came in from high school, from whatever. Some of them are on the screen. Some of them are never made it or became Broadway people or whatever. They what have you. So I saw that progression, and it wasn't until much later that I say, okay, that made sense. I saw them when they weren't talented and what have you. Same thing with people I see learning, applying their trade on the way up. I said, wait a minute. And it occurred to me, I said, I can be a nurse. I became a business executive when I was the screw up of the family. I was not expected to take over the business. I did not want to take over the business. I ended up taking over the business and running the business and saving it twice. So I didn't realize so much later. I was like, oh yeah, I did that. Huh. You can do it too. Never thought I'd be I think I'm a decent parent. I never thought that was possible. You learn, It's like Ryan Reynolds said recently, right? He said, I only thought I had fun uncle potential. Hey, he's a great dad. Good for him. Not saying for me, for him. He learned that. You learned these things. And these are things you can apply in nursing. Don't be discouraged. Don't think you can't do it. You can definitely do it. You just need to commit to doing it. Okay? Good luck.